Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back live again to do a mindset for marketing. So, if you are joining live on LinkedIn right now, I want to thank you. As I've mentioned in the previous sessions, I will be going live every weekday here in the month of April to talk about a mindset for marketing. Now, if you watched yesterday's, yes, I was a little fired up talking about, producers, people who sell products have to start acting more like entrepreneurs and start thinking less like W-2s because you want the freedom to know the sky's the limit. The more you sell, the more you make. You got schedule flexibility, schedule control. If that's what you want, you have to start thinking more like an entrepreneur. It's your business. It is nobody else's responsibility to help you grow that business but you. Today, we're going to shift. Today, I want to talk about a strategy. It's going to be a mindset, but also a strategy I want you to start thinking about when it comes to marketing. And I'm going to start this session by sharing a little story. I've been in the insurance industry for 20 years. I think it's actually 21 years this year. And I want you to put yourself in this scenario and tell me or think to yourself if you've been here before. You're in a sales proposal with a prospect and you're excited. And you go through your proposal and you talk about all the things your agency or your company can do to help that prospect win. And you finish up the proposal, walk out, so proud because you felt like you absolutely crushed this thing, only to find out you didn't win it. In fact, you had a hard enough time getting the prospect to get back in touch with you to tell you that they decided to stay where they were or they decided to go with somebody else. And you're left dumbfounded because you're like, wait a second. I thought I absolutely crushed this. I told them about everything we do, all of our capabilities, all of our resources. How in the world could they not choose us? It felt like they were eating out of our hands. This is where I used to find myself all the time. I thought I did all the right things throughout the sales process, right? I thought I was meeting with the right prospects. I did all the right fact finding. I get into the sales proposal and I think I'd absolutely crush it, only to find out at the end of the day, I didn't win. And this happened over and over and over and over. And I'm like, how did I go wrong? I didn't miss anything. I told them about all the things we do. And then I realized that's the exact reason why I didn't win the opportunity. I was telling them about all the things we do. That was the problem. Why? Because I was introducing too many problems and too many solutions and goals into their life. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. A huge mindset shift I want you to make with your marketing. And it's something that I literally see the light bulbs go on with my clients. When they hear me say this, I just did a workshop last week in Tempe, Arizona, where I went live on Friday for the first time. When I went through this part of the workshop, I literally could hear the light bulbs turn on. And it's when I told them this. When it comes to your marketing, whether the campaign is a social media post, whether the marketing campaign is a webinar, whether the marketing campaign is an email sales sequence, one goal, one problem. If you think of your marketing as I'm going to use marketing to focus on one goal, one problem per campaign, your marketing will start to get you in front of the right prospects. The problem is most of you are spending your marketing talking about a bunch of goals and a bunch of problems. And the problem is you think that's how you're supposed to do it because you don't want to leave you don't want to leave a stone unturned. The problem is when you start introducing too many goals and problems into your prospects' lives, they get confused. And the second they're confused, guess what they're not doing? They're not buying, especially not from you. And so if there's one shift you have to make with your marketing right now is stop trying to be all things to all people. Stop telling me about the 8 or 9 different problems you solve. Yes, I get it. Prospects have different goals and they have different problems. Not every prospect has the same goal, same problem. I get it. But if you just start thinking about your marketing from this standpoint, every campaign I run, again, whether it's a webinar, an email campaign, just one email, a post out on LinkedIn, even my sales pipeline with one prospect, my sales proposals. If I just stick to one goal and one problem, your marketing will be better and your sales will go up. Why? Because that prospect can easily digest one goal and one problem. You see, the mistake I see so many insurance agencies making right now is they find themselves getting in front of really good prospects, right? And they have a good discovery meeting with that prospect. They do a bunch of good fact finding. And then it's time to come back for the sales proposal, right? Or the finalist meeting. And something really interesting happens in that moment, going from the discovery meeting to the finalist meeting. Even though we've collected all this information about the prospect to tell their story, when we walk back in for the proposal, all we do is tell ours. And we spend all the time telling the prospect why we are the company they should hire, which leads us to start talking about all the things we do. But if you did your job during the fact-finding process, you should have asked them what their number one goal is right now. And you should have asked them what their number one problem is right now, keeping them from that goal. And if you got that information, your proposal should be nothing more than to solve that problem so they can achieve that goal. And when you start talking about all the things your agency, your company does, you're introducing new goals and new problems into their life. And again, once that happens, they're confused. And once they're confused, they're not buying from you. That's simple. And so my advice today is leverage the power of one goal, one problem in your marketing. Every time your team sits down to run a campaign, and again, I'm going to say this multiple times. What is a campaign? A campaign can be as short as one post on LinkedIn. A campaign could be a sequence of emails that you're going to send out to prospects because you want to try to get meetings scheduled. A campaign could be a webinar you're hosting. It could be your sales pipeline, taking a prospect from discovery meeting to the finalist meeting. Whatever campaign your team is running, keep it to one goal, one problem. This thing's a game changer. If you can keep your marketing that simple, you're going to start resonating with more prospects. You're going to start getting the right prospects to raise their hand. And when you start scheduling meetings with the right prospects, you're going to start selling more with less opportunities. Closing ratios go through the roof. Here's the mistake most people make, though. Let's talk about one goal, one problem. It sounds so easy to do, yet it is so hard to follow. Tara, thank you for watching. You are correct. One goal, one problem. This is the game changer. When we think in terms of one goal, one problem, we create a simple marketing message. Too many of you are trying to get too fancy with your marketing. A good marketing message is so easy to understand. A fifth grader should be able to know what you do, how you do it, and what result they can create. by hiring you. That's good marketing. And so by leveraging this philosophy of one goal, one problem in your marketing campaigns, it's not only going to make your life so much easier, not only is it going to make your marketing so much better, it's actually going to make your prospect's buying decision easier. So here's what I challenge you to do. I want you to sit down, whether it's by yourself or with your team. And I want you to think about your ideal prospects you connect with, your favorite clients you work with. And I want you to sit down and go, okay, what are some of the goals our ideal prospects or our favorite clients have? What are some of the problems they run into? Okay, why don't we start creating a marketing campaign or a series of marketing campaigns that address each and every one of those goals and problems? Because every goal has a problem. And if you just focus on one campaign, one goal, one problem, every single one of your marketing strategies will get better. And so that's what I challenge you to do today. Think about all the goals, all the problems you have right now. Because if you're just telling one story, again, I'll repeat this over and over, it's going to resonate with the people you want it to. It's going to be very easy to understand. It's going to be very clear, which means the prospects you're trying to attract are the ones that are going to raise their hand. This is why developing the ideal prospect's brand identity is so important. The number one question, the first question you ask yourself in developing a prospect's ideal prospect's brand identity is, what problem do we solve? I get it. There's a chance you solve 5 or 6 different problems. Awesome. But with every one of those problems is a marketing campaign. Do not throw all 5 of those in the same marketing campaign. Alexander, you are correct. You lost a prospect exactly like I did. You will use exactly what I'm saying. That's the key, man. One goal, one problem. Quit trying to talk about everything. Quit throwing the kitchen sink at it. We do that out of fear. We do that because we feel if we don't talk about everything, we're not going to win. But it's the reason we're not winning is because we're talking about everything. Here's an example where you can use this effectively. I have a client who met with a prospect, had a really good meeting. The prospect's an owner of an HVAC company. And my client, an advisor, wanted to follow up with the prospect because he could feel from the meeting the prospect wasn't quite ready to buy yet. So he wanted to follow up with this prospect and bring some value to him. So he was going to send him an email with an attachment, some PDF that he thought was going to be really helpful to the prospect. Now, in the discovery meeting, he uncovered that this prospect's number one challenge, the owner of this HVAC business, his number one challenge is recruiting. It's hard to find good people. In fact, if you're in the benefits industry, I think we could argue 10 out of 10 of your prospects are struggling with recruiting right now. Might be a hint on where you should start creating your marketing, by the way. So he uncovered that recruiting was this business owner's number one problem. So he wanted to follow up after the meeting to provide some value with this email. What the topic of this PDF was, though, was how contractors can help their clients maintain clean facilities. Now, this advisor thought he was doing the right thing. I'm bringing value to this prospect. Here was the problem. He knew the prospect's problem was recruiting, finding people. So if he were to send an email out that talked about how this business owner could help his clients maintain clean facilities, although it may be extremely valuable, it's a new problem, a new goal. It has nothing to do with the goal and the problem he uncovered. He wants to grow his HVAC company, but he can't find good people. So stick to the rule of one goal, one problem. If you're trying to stay engaged with a prospect that's in your pipeline, anything you follow up on, no matter what you send them, make sure it is tied to the goal and the problem you've uncovered with them. Don't introduce new stories, new goals, new problems into their life. Keep it simple. So when you get off this LinkedIn Live, whether you're watching it live right now, and if you are, I want to thank you. But if you get a chance to watch this later, sit down and go, okay, what are some of the goals our clients and prospects have? What are some of the problems they encounter keeping them from these goals? And then develop your marketing around addressing one of those goals and problems at a time, not all of them at once. The more problems and goals you try to solve with your marketing, the more vanilla, boring, and bland your marketing is going to become. If you focus on one goal, one problem with each marketing campaign, you become that almond milk I talked about. You become the marketing that people go, I don't know what this is, but we need to find out. So hope that was helpful today. Like I said, guys, I don't take up the full half hours on these. I just want to get my message across so it lands right here. Remember, it's a mindset for marketing. Once you get the right mindset locked in, which allows you to create a much better message, the marketing will take care of itself. So with that being said, I want to make one more announcement. If you're an insurance advisor listening in and you're ready to take your business to the next level, or like Alexander said, you found yourself frustrated in the position where you laid out what you thought was a killer sales proposal to a prospect, but you walked away coming in second place again, it's because your marketing, your message is not on point. It's not simple enough. It's not directed at one goal, one problem. If you're ready to figure out how to do this more effectively, I want to invite you, where is this, over here, to join the Broker Branding Academy. The next round starts May 4th. We are half full. If you want to know more, if you want to see if this academy is a fit for you, let's jump on a 10, 15-minute call. Just text the word academy to 414-622-1462. That is my text community. I will get that text and I will follow up with you and schedule a call. So this is built for insurance advisors who are ready to build a hell of a brand message for the right prospect that gets the right prospect to raise their hand so they can walk them through a sales pipeline and put themselves, the advisor, in the best position to win. You're too damn good to not have enough sales opportunities. So if you want to join, text this number, this name, academy, to this number. We'll jump on a call and see if it's a fit for you. But until tomorrow, remember, one goal, one problem. If you keep your marketing that simple, it's going to do wonders for you. And you get the message right, and you aim it at the right prospect, the marketing takes care of itself. So be well, leverage this, use it as a game changer. If you have any questions, shoot me a private message on LinkedIn. And again, if you want to learn more about the Broker Branding Academy, right here. Let's connect.